Hi everybody. In this episode, we are going to understand how valuable is the most precious resource we already have with us. Now, we are comfortable with resources such as money, material, mission, petrol. There is one resource which adds value to you, and that resource is time. Think for a while. Have we ever thought time is a resource? Now, anything that you get free of cost, anything that you get unasked for, anything that you do not notice, it is doubtful whether you will accept it as a resource. If you want money, you have to work. You have to go to a bank, draw. If you want water, you have to go to a tap, well, lake. You have to fetch water. If you want a machinery, you have to invest money, get the machinery. You have to do some activity to get the resource with you. But you do nothing, you get time. Whether you want it or not, you get it. The richest and the poorest get the same amount of time. And perhaps this is the reason we don't assign a value to time. For the past nearly 3 decades, I have been conducting programs on managing time. I'm going to use the word managing time, quote unquote. After 20 years, I realized the term time management itself is a misnomer. Now, the moment you say manage, does it not presuppose your ability to control? We talk about a finance manager. He has a control on the finance. You talk about a materials manager. He has a control on the material. A production manager controls production. A finance manager can say, I need more money this week, I need less money this week. A materials manager can say, I need more of that material and less of this material. A production manager can say, I need more production this week, less production next week. Do you have this control with reference to time? Let's say that you are going through the most happiest moment in your life. Let's say that you are enjoying a holiday in Switzerland. Just because the environment is fine, just because it is nice, can you say that I will have 36 hours a day today? Let's say that you are going through the most excruciating pain in your life. Can you say that I will have 10 days or I will have a 10 hours day today? It's not possible. And so, either you asked nothing, you got many things, like time, for example. You asked nothing. You never asked for time. The nature has given you time. So perhaps you don't value. Or you did nothing, you got time, you did not value. And maybe this is the reason why we don't appreciate the value of time. And I was telling you that time cannot be controlled and so cannot be managed. Then what are we talking about? We are talking about output per unit of time. Are we not talking about output per unit of money? We are not talking about, are we not talking about output per unit of mission? So you have to talk about output per unit of time. And this is where the great people are different from ordinary people. They understand how valuable is the resource. A prime minister of a country gets the same amount of time as you and I get. The richest man gets the same amount of time you and I get. They are careful with reference to money. You know why? They realized it is scarce. I was reading a poem a couple of years ago. I don't remember where I read, but this poem changed my philosophy of time. A time will come when a resource will not be available to you. A person will not be available to you. Right? At that time, you understand how valuable was that resource. The poem reads like this. If I had only known it was the last night with you, I would have prayed God for some miracle so that I could have stopped the dawn. If I had only known that it was the last walk with you on the road, I would have memorized every word that you uttered so that on a lonely night like this, I would have whispered every word that you said. If I had only known it was the last dinner with you, I would have looked at your face much more deeply so that I would recall your smile whenever I feel down. If I had only known, if I had only known. If I had only known that it was the last day with you, I would have held your hand so firmly that I will walk with you with confidence and warmth. If I had only known, if I had only known. I foolishly thought that you will always be with me, that one day when I closed my eyes, you slipped away from me. If I had only known, if I had only known. I don't know what is your emotion when you heard this poem, but I was literally in tears when I read it first time. My memory went back to the last 10 years, 15 years. My memory went back to my school days and college days. I recalled all that fun and frolic I had, the games we played, the friends I had. What happened to those time? Can you get those time back? The last second is gone. You cannot give any amount of time, any amount of money to get that time. The moment you get this realization that this resource is fast depleting, you'll be very careful. Now, your attitude to resource is very, very important. Now, if somebody gives you a gold coin, should they tell you how to keep it? Should somebody give you an advice how to give a diamond, how to keep a diamond ring? They don't tell you. The moment you are told it's diamond, it is gold. Supposing you give this diamond or a gold ring to a 2-year boy or a 3-year child, you need to tell them. Even if you tell, they will not appreciate, they may play with that, they may lose it because they are not conscious, they are not aware of it, they are not wise enough, they are not mature enough to know the value. So as they grow, they understand. So it calls for a lot of amount of maturity to understand how valuable time is. I was exposed in a fascinating subject called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Neuro means brain, linguistic is the words, the way we use language, and programming is taken from the computer science. For an output you want in a computer, there has to be an input, a process, and output. If you take behavior as an outcome in an individual, the NLP principle says that human beings are like a computer. You need an input, the mind processes the information, and there is a behavior. And for this, the language is very, very important. We talk about spending, we talk about investment. Now supposing I say, I spent 1 hour on this project. What does it mean to you? Supposing you change the word from spending to investment. Supposing I say, I invest 1 hour on you, on this project. Don't you think for a minute and say, oh, investment means return on investment. Or let us say the same terminology, I spent 1,000 rupees. Or I say, I invested 1,000 rupees. The moment you say invest, you look for a return on investment. If you say spend, you don't look for a return on investment, right? So from today, I want you to realize a couple of things. 1, time is scarce. 2, time once spent or once gone, you cannot get it back. 3, all of us get the same amount of time, irrespective of differences, economic differences, social differences, racial differences. 3, time is so precious that it is for you to care for it. 5, come what may. You be whoever you want to be. You cannot get back time. Get emotional. Get emotionally attached. Become sensitive. Time is a precious resource. And remember this poem, if I had only known, if I had only known. In the episodes to follow, we are going to use this concept of output per unit of time and see how we can enhance our value. Watch this serial. You will understand what it means to become great.